The Toyota Fortuner doesn't need an introduction. It has been in the Philippines since 2005 in its first generation, and the one that we have here is the second-gen 2016 Toyota Fortuner. I'm pretty sure that at this point, you've already watched several reviews of this car, lalo na't meron ng mga bagong improvements sa second-gen Fortuner sa nakalipas na 9 na taon. Kaya naman marahil ay marami ka ng alam na detalye tungkol sa sasakyan na to, so we won't delve in the details that you can otherwise find in the brochures. Instead, we'll talk about it from an owner's perspective. Because in this episode, we will review my very own 2016 Toyota Fortuner G variant with manual transmission. I've been using it as my daily driver since 2016, and it has since racked up more than 150,000 kilometers. Na-drive ko na tong sasakyan na to on literally all kinds of conditions. My Fortuner isn't a garage queen, it's a workhorse. And in this review, let's discover how this car drives after 9 years and thousands of kilometers of use. Let's get started. This Toyota Fortuner comes with a 2.4-liter diesel engine. Base model ito nung time na nilabas siya way back in 2016. At that time, there is the manual transmission, which is this one. And then we have the automatic transmission, the G variant then. And then I think we also have like the Q and the V trims, which are, top spec. So what can I say about the engine is that I think for a 2.4-liter turbocharged diesel, the engine provides, more than enough power to pull the entire car to get up to speed. And, I've driven this car all the way to Baguio, Sagada, and other uphill roads a lot of times. And siguro dahil manual transmission siya, I have full control over how the car and the engine behaves. It provides enough power for me. I cannot complain about the engine because the Toyota Fortuner wasn't designed to be a very fast SUV. It's not a drag car. But at the end of the day, I think what the designers had in mind when they were designing this car is, overall functionality. And I think when it comes to engine, it provides usable power, way down below the rev range. So yeah, the engine is really good in this car. Also, another aspect that I think contributes dun sa ganda ng engine niya is the throttle response nitong car na to. Because I've driven several cars already na medyo delay yung mga throttle responses nila. But this car, when you step on the gas pedal, the tachometer immediately responds. So if you want immediate power paired with the already powerful engine and a good throttle response, overall the engine really provides a very good driving experience. Also, it is worth mentioning that this Toyota Fortuner comes with 3 driving modes. So it has the power mode, the eco mode, and the normal mode. Pero yung mga driving modes na to, nagamit ko lang sila nung bago yung car because these features were new to me. I was used to driving old cars back then. So nung bago yung car na to, I was really experimenting on the eco mode and the power mode. The driving modes of this car, I think parang ina-alter lang niya yung throttle response niya. The eco mode provides a little delayed throttle response, and if you want more power out of the engine or out of the car, you would have to press on the gas pedal a little deeper. Whereas in power mode, it provides immediate power. But that's where the problem comes, Kasi sa experience ko sa power mode ng Toyota Fortuner, it's very hard to control. You just slightly step on it and it provides immediate power, and when you step a bit further, it provides excessive power to the point na yung engine is providing more power and speed than what you really need. And so after 9 years of owning this car, I mainly stayed in the normal mode. So the normal mode provides a good balance between throttle response and the engine response as well. Parang mas madali siyang i-modulate kasi kung konti lang ang apak mo sa gas, konti lang din ang power na ibibigay niya, and if you want more power, you will have to step more on the gas. It's really balanced, the normal mode of this car. This Toyota Fortuner comes with a 6-speed manual transmission, and what I can say about the transmission of this car is that it provides a good balance between power and torque. So I think yung car na to, yung gearing niya is designed leaning towards more speed rather than more torque, but that doesn't mean that the car is lackluster when you need more torque. It's not, because the engine is powerful, but the gears, each one of them can go higher speed. So for example, in the first gear, I think it tops out at 35 kilometers per hour. The second gear can go up to 70 kilometers per hour. The third gear can reach 100, and the fourth gear, I think it can even exceed 120. So for a utilitarian SUV like this one, the gearing is tall, so you can really maximize the power and torque of the car. You can rev the engine higher na hindi siya kinakapos ng speed and power. And at the same time, kapag may mga steep na mga daan, when you go to Baguio, maraming mga surprises dyan, especially when you go inside the city itself. Biglang liko mo, sobrang tarik pala, di ba? You can simply hold the first gear hanggang matapos yung uphill na yon, while still not going too slow. And that's what I love about the transmission of this car. And the feel of the transmission itself when you're chugging along gears, pumapasok siya sa lahat ng gears without any problem whatsoever. And after more than 150,000 kilometers, I have no problem with the transmission. When it comes to braking in this Toyota Fortuner, this particular model comes with disc brakes sa harap and drum brakes sa likod. I won't say na ang brakes niya mahina, kasi never naman akong dumating sa situation that I'm going fast and nag-emergency brake ako at nabangga ako, right? At the same time, going downhill from mountains, I had no problem with the brake itself. I think for what it is, an SUV, it provides ample stopping power. But would I want the brakes to be stronger? Of course, because syempre additional safety din yun. But at the same time, the brake is not lacking for me. Whether I'm driving alone or with my family, the brakes are pretty reliable. They can provide enough stopping power when needed, especially during emergency braking. And a lot of times I've already tested the ABS of this car, and with a big SUV like this, kailangan talaga yung ABS, kasi kapag nag-emergency brake ka, especially kapag mga paliko, without the ABS, the car would just slip and probably roll over. But because of the ABS, I'm able to stop safely. However, there's one thing na napansin ko sa braking ng car na to, and I think it's not just solely because of the brakes, but because of the timpla ng suspension niya, it takes time to master the braking of this car, kasi when you first use this car and you step on the brakes, malakas yung initial bite niya unlike other cars na medyo mushy yung brake pedals, this one hindi. As soon as you touch the brake pedal, you'll immediately feel the brakes biting. Honestly, that's what I like about this car as well, especially dun sa braking niya. However, yung problem ko when it comes to the braking of this car is that sumusubsob yung sasakyan na to kapag nag-brake ka ng medyo malakas. I think it's because primarily dahil disc brake siya sa harap, and mas malakas ang disc brake kesa sa drum brake sa likod. And of course, normally brake distribution sa mga sasakyan talaga mas malakas sa harap. It lacks yung tinatawag na electronic brake force distribution or yung mga EBD na present sa other vehicles such as the Mitsubishi Montero Sport. I've tried the Mitsubishi Montero Sport before, and I love the braking of that car because when you step on the brake, especially during emergency situations, ang initial response ng car is syempre medyo susubsob siya, but you will feel the car leveling yung brake force niya, and that results to a more controlled stopping situation. Another factor which I think largely contributes to that braking response is the suspension of this car, which we'll tackle on later. But primarily the suspension is too soft for this vehicle, and that's why whenever you just touch the brake, it dips forward. As regards the handling of this car, I think it's very relative, no? So my feedback with the handling of this car is, might I say, biased and influenced over the years na ginamit ko talaga siya. So I've been using this car for 9 years, and for me, no, the handling is ample. I don't, I won't go so far as to say that it's sharp, because it really is not. Although it is a hydraulic power steering, the steering wheel is light enough for me na hindi siya masyadong nakaka-fatigue when I'm driving long distances, or when I'm driving sa Metro Manila. It's not like that. Ang napansin ko sa Toyota Fortuner sa handling niya is that hindi vague yung steering response niya. If you point the steering wheel like to this direction, it will go to this direction. Although going to that direction, it isn't so graceful because influenced siya dun sa medyo hindi magandang suspension niya. So the handling is enough. It's ample. There's a certain degree of sharpness to it na hindi ka maliligaw sa pagdadrive, no? Kasi may mga cars na pag dinadrive mo sila is parang medyo vague yung steering nila. Sometimes it's too sharp, and sometimes kailangan mo ng mas mahabang pihit sa steering wheel para mag-respond yung car, di ba? But this one, it's not. Of course, the handling of a vehicle is not mainly influenced by how the steering wheel turns, how light it is, or how heavy it is. It is also influenced by the suspension tuning. When it comes to suspension, I think ito yung pinaka lowest point ng car na to, and since the first generation of the Toyota Fortuner, it cannot be denied that Toyota somehow is not able to provide a very comfortable SUV in this Toyota Fortuner. It's still matagtag, no? But my main problem about this suspension, and by the way, it's still running on its stock suspension, but my main problem with this is that I think it's too soft to the point na naapektuhan yung braking niya. As I mentioned before, apektado rin heavily yung handling ng car, because when you're going at a mildly higher speed, and you turn the steering wheel from left to right, yung mga ganitong experiences, you do this when you're going uphill or when you're going twisty roads, diba? When you turn the vehicle from left to right, you will really feel that the body is rolling, no? And actually, even at lower speeds, when going through tight corners, going 10 kilometers per hour, mafe-feel mo talaga na medyo nagsusway yung body ng sasakyan. And that's why yung handling niya is negatively affected by the suspension. And going deeper dito sa suspension ng sasakyan na to, no? Yes, it's true that it is actually matagtag. However, when you're driving on asphalt roads such as on expressways, NLEX, SCTEX, Skyway, the suspension has enough play, such as na parang nakaupo ka lang sa sofa and you're just wafting through the road. It's very comfortable kapag ganun ang road situation. But let's be honest, majority of the roads here in the Philippines are not asphalt paved, and that's why hindi sila pino. And kapag nadaan ka sa mga daan na tulad nun, dun mo makikita na sobrang tagtag nga ng Fortuner. And because the suspension of the Toyota Fortuner is too soft, when I'm going on trips with my family, makita mo na yung likod ng car is medyo mababa siya kaysa sa harapan. And so kapag ganon, tumitingala yung car. And the problem with that is when you're driving at night, dahil nakatingala yung car kapag puno ng pasahero, the headlight parang high beam siya. And that's why nasisilaw yung mga kasalubong mo kahit hindi ka naka high beam. At syempre yung softness ng suspension niya, mas mafe-feel mo kapag loaded with passengers na yung sasakyan. You will feel na mas wallowy siya kapag nagda-drive ka. But you know, kapag puno naman siya ng pasahero, hindi na siya masyadong matagtag. And that's why I think yung Toyota Fortuner, I mean, SUV nga siya, diba? So it's designed talaga na ginagamit siya as family carrier kasi mas komportable siya kapag may pasahero ka, despite sa sa obvious flaws ng car na to when it comes to suspension, no. I won't say that the car is wobbly kasi may mga cars na parang nakakakabang dalhin or nakakakabang i-drive ng higher speeds, right? Pero ito, kahit na ang suspension niya is napakalambot, hindi siya wobbly at higher speed. The driving experience with this car is very linear. It's very easy to drive. It's very confidence inspiring to drive. And that's the reason why we use it as our family car. Oh, and by the way, I already upgraded the tires of this car from 265 65 17 to 265 70 R17 na rugged terrain. Although hindi naman 4x4 ang car na to, the reason why I chose rugged terrain is because I find them providing more grip, especially during rainy season. Kumbaga yung mga rugged terrain tires, talagang tinatanggal nila yung tubig na nadadaanan ng sasakyan mo, thus preventing hydroplaning. Interior features. Actually, this car doesn't have a lot of interior features. It has buttons here in the steering wheel to control the gauge cluster, to control the volume, to repeat the music, and it has manual knobs for the air conditioning. I think ang pinaka high-tech na feature lang ng sasakyan na to dito sa interior niya is yung infotainment system niya. And still, this one is antiquated because it doesn't come with Android Auto, with Apple CarPlay. This one is really just for entertainment. And as you may already know, this car comes with 7 seats, so we can sit 7 people here. But I highly doubt 2 adults will fit at the back or at the third row. So I think 5 adults and 2 children. The interior isn't very spacious. Honestly, sa position ko na to, an adult at my back will have a hard time getting comfortable, especially during long trips. But what I like about the seats of this car is that they provide good lumbar support for my back. I never had any back pains driving this car kahit na long trip pa yan. The seats are very comfortable, and as you may be hearing throughout this video, there's a lot of creaks and squeaks dito sa sasakyan na to. I think it's because it's older, so medyo yung mga fitting ng mga garnishes niya, ng mga drawers niya, hindi na masyadong mahigpit. But if I remember correctly, even nung nakuha ko tong car na to, medyo may mga squeaks na talaga siya sa loob. But I learned to live with them. But what I really like about the interior of this car is the number of cup holders. So I have 1 cup holder here beside my steering wheel, 1 for the passenger over there, and then we have cup holders sa bawat pinto ng sasakyan na to that can hold large bottles such as 1 liter water bottles. So it's actually a very good long distance road trip car. Also yung vents din ng car na to, maganda naman yung spacing nila. May vent siya dito sa second row and may vent din siya sa third row. So kahit puno ng pasahero yung sasakyan na to, madidistribute pa rin ng maayos yung lamig sa car. So more comfortable pa rin siya. The visibility in driving this car, although medyo mataba yung mga A-pillar niya, you won't have a hard time driving this car, especially at night, because visibility is actually good in this one. Actually, hindi ito masyadong minimension sa mga car reviews or sa mga Toyota Fortuner reviews, but this Toyota Fortuner in its stock form, actually maganda yung sound system niya. I think it's mainly because of this antiquated infotainment system here. It provides enough amplification sa mga speakers natin so that you can really turn the speakers loud. This infotainment system also provides, enough equalizer controls para mas ma-fine tune mo yung sound na lumalabas sa mga speakers niya, and pair that with the equalizer in your phone, and you can really produce good quality music dito sa sasakyan na to. Kaya naman kung mahilig ka sa music at kahit medyo mahal ang pandinig mo, you can find the sound system here very satisfying, to the point na hindi mo na kailangan mag-upgrade ng speakers para lang magkaroon ng magandang quality na sound. Manufacturers or car brands, sometimes they skimp on the sound quality, but for consumers like me na medyo maselan ang tenga when it comes to music, I can say that I approve the sound system of this one.
With almost a decade of using this car as my daily driver, I can say that I'm very satisfied with it. Ang tanging mapipintas ko lamang dito ay yung napakatagtag na suspension. And I think most Fortuner owners would also agree. Pero kung ikukumpara mo ito sa napakarami ng kilometrong tinakbo na hindi ako binigyan ng ni isang problema, it's easy to overlook its flaws. After all, no car is perfect. As a long-term car, napaka-practical din ng Toyota Fortuner. Kasi naman, wala pa akong major part na pinalitan dito. Tanging yung mga wear and tear parts lang tulad ng gulong, baterya, and brake pads. And at 150,000 kilometers, the clutch still hasn't given up. So kung usapang reliability yan, base sa experience ko, napaka-reliable ng sasakyan na to. Siyempre, kailangan punctual ka when it comes to the maintenance. And mind you, hindi ko binaby ang sasakyan na to. It has seen the worst road conditions. Actually, nalusong ko na rin to sa malalim na baha, and even after that, wala ni isang problema ang lumitaw. I'm a sucker for long-term relationships, and that's why I chose the Fortuner. There are 100 reasons to go with other cars, but there's one reason that made me choose this one. It's the reliability. Yeah, I know it sounds cliche, but the Toyota Fortuner is a truly reliable piece of machine. And after all the years of using this car, I still feel the same excitement. And I think that's the point of owning a car. It's how it makes you feel. It's how it remains to be an apple of your eye throughout the years. I see myself driving this for many years to come and hundreds of thousands of kilometers more. I see this car parked in my driveway alongside my future cars. Because to me, this car isn't just a piece of machinery. It's a piece of me. Something that reminds me of the memories, experiences, and people that have come to my life and shared this ride with me. You might think that I'm overly emotional with this one. Pero hindi ba't ganun talaga pag mahal mo ang isang bagay? You can't imagine yourself letting it go. This has been Enzo from AutoTune. Till next time.